shout-outs here. So, any elected officials in the crowd? Woo! Okay. Let's give a round of applause. Take one. Anyone running for office in the crowd? I know there's a few of you up front. Maybe we wouldn't be in Bell County if I didn't give a shout-out to our veterans. Any veterans in the crowd? Thank you all for the service. That's awesome. So, apparently there's 2 attendees in the crowd who met at a rally and got engaged. Are they here? Isn't that sweet? Yeah. They really built community. Okay. Okay, Colleen, are you ready? Please welcome your mayor and a true testament to Bell County, Mayor Joseph Solomon.
Hello, Colleen. Let me say this. Hello, Central Texas. I am so excited to be here tonight and to welcome you all. How many came from afar? Yeah. Like Austin, Waco, Temple. There you go, Temple is here. Harker Heights, Copper's Cove. There you go. Central Texas is in the house. What was that? Round Rock. There you go, Round Rock, Georgetown. Gatesville. Yes. We're all neighbors. We're all neighbors. I am so glad that you're here tonight, and it's my pleasure and honor to be here at this special event. How many are ready for a change? I mean, you're really, really ready for a change. Well, let me say this. Change starts with you. Can you say that? Change, you can look at your neighbor and say, change starts with you. Because this is just the first step that we're excited. But as we have heard, in 12 weeks, there is an election. And we have to be that change, right? Yeah, we have to get out there and make it happen. We have to, it starts with us. It starts with us intentionally doing the change, making that change, getting out there, bringing your neighbors, bringing your family. Listen, when I ran my granddaughter for the first time she voted for me. This year. And yeah, I said, hey, you gotta get there, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. I believe in voting. It's important, and sometimes change does not happen because we don't make the change. Would you agree with that? Yes. It's so important that we do that. And so, change for our community, change for our state, change for our nation. So if you want it, you go get it. Okay? Make the new American dream. Make the change. That's what I interpret the new American dream is just change for the better. Not just simply change, but change for the better. Change for me and change for you. Can I get a witness? So listen, without any further ado, we want to listen to that change tonight. And it's an honor to be here with State Representative James Tallarico. Yeah, let's give him a hand for coming to the and then Gina. Let's give both of them a big hand clap. When they come out, I want y'all to really get excited, okay? Okay? And so it is my honor, my privilege, because I believe that she's already made a change. You know, when you're a servant, when you're a public servant, You're there for change. You're there to make a difference in your community. That's why I ran. I wanted to make a difference in somebody else's life and impact while I could. Because you only have a window. And so I believe these two state representatives, they want to change. They will change. Yes. Would you agree? Clap your hands. I want us to just welcome, and you can stand and give her a big Killeen, Central Texas welcome. Like we know how to welcome people, right? Don't we know how to do it? Here she is, Gina Hinojosa.
And I am running to be the next governor of Texas. And I am running to win. Because this is a fight that we cannot lose. This is the fight of our time. There is one fight of 2026. And it is the fight to decide, is this going to be a Texas that by and for the people of Texas? Or is this just the billionaire's world and we just live here? That is the fight in America. That is the fight for Texas. This is a fight to decide who does Texas belong to. When I was a little girl, I understood who Texas belonged to. It belonged to all of us, right?
Yep.
I knew when I was a little girl that if I worked hard, that I could be anything that I wanted to be. So you know, I never meant to be a candidate for governor or a candidate for anything. In fact, before I got married, I made my husband promise to never run for any office. That was over 27 years ago, because today is my 27th-year anniversary. So John, thank you for being in this with me. Thank you for 27 amazing years. Thank you for being my husband and my rock, and I will make it all up to you, I promise, after November 3rd. But I was compelled to run for the school board when they tried to shut down my son's school. And today I am compelled to run to be the governor of Texas, because the Texas that I was raised knowing is not the reality that we are living. Because I was raised to believe in the American dream. The American dream. Anybody here remember the American dream? The American dream that our soldiers, our veterans fought for. Thank you very much for your service. The American dream that if you work hard, you could have a good life, right? If you had a full-time job, you could afford to own your own home. This is the promise. You could afford to own your own home. You could afford to pay your bills, put food on the table without having to do the math twice. You could send your child to a good school down the street and retire with dignity. That was the deal. That was the promise. Greg Abbott has broken that deal. That we are hard-working people. Nobody works harder than Texans. It is true, we work more hours than anybody else in this country. Despite that fact, we have the most people who are disconnected from their electricity because they cannot afford to pay their bills. We have the most uninsured people of any state. We have the most uninsured children of any state. Do you know that we have the most bankruptcies of any state? Texas. And it is mostly our small businesses that are just hanging on, struggling to keep the doors open. We have the first major American city to potentially run out of water in Corpus Christi, Texas. I don't know if you've heard about that. All that despite the fact that we pay more and more and more in property taxes. They have skyrocketed under Greg Abbott. The reason we pay more and we get less is because we are all paying the Greg Abbott corruption tax. That's right. Corruption is costing us all, and I have receipts. Let's start with the fact that Greg Abbott has given $1 billion in no bid contracts to his donors. That's our money. That's our money. Also, the fact that he sold out our public schools when he took $12 million from an out-of-state billionaire, Jeff Yazd, to push vouchers, shoved it down our throats, took $1 billion out of our neighborhood schools. Now schools are shutting down all over this state and in Killeen in a big way. Right? We have over 150 schools shutting down in this state. We have over 150 whole school districts operating at 4 days a week because they cannot afford to operate at 5 days a week. It is wrong. Greg Abbott sold out our kids, our schools, and our retired teachers because now that we're spending billions of dollars to pay teachers who aren't paying into the teacher retirement system, it will collapse. That's not my conclusion. That was the state's conclusion when they introduced the voucher bill. He has turned his back on us when it comes to these data centers popping up all over the state. Taxpayer handouts to data centers of any state in the country, invited them all into Texas. There is now this gold rush into Texas, and there are no rules. He passed this law in 2015 to give them a 20-year tax break. So we are all footing the bill for these hyperscale data centers. And today, he is the sole person who can end this data center madness. I have called on him to issue a moratorium, to call the legislature into a special session today so we can pass laws to protect the people of Texas, so the people of Texas can have a seat at the table to decide if and how these data centers come into their community. Refuses to do it and instead introduced a temporary pause, which we know will be undone November 4th, the day after the election. But Greg Abbott does not work for us. He works for his billionaire donors. He works for the largest contributors into his campaign, and those are the data centers this year.
Yes.
And people across this state know what's up. People have wised up. And that is why all over the state, we are hearing from Texans who are desperate for change. And out of 6 polls in the last 3 weeks, they show we are in a virtual tie with Greg Abbott. that by saving Texas schools, because there can be no American dream without strong public schools. Schools are the gateway. They provide the opportunity. They tell every Texas child you can be anything you want to be if you put in the work. Save Texas schools and put money in your pocket. Because if you cannot afford to live and thrive in Texas, then the dream is out of reach. So my plan is to deliver $1,500 to every Texas family. That is $1,500 to every Texas family. I call it the Greg Abbott corruption tax refund. Greg Abbott is hoarding that money in a way government has never hoarded money in this state. Nobody trusts government. I don't trust government. Raise your hand if you trust government. We have to build back trust. I say we give the money back to the people because the people know how to spend it better than government. And when it comes to health care, my plan to put money in your pocket is to ensure every Texas child has quality health care. Do that by finally expanding Medicaid. And for those of us with health insurance who pay more, and yet it's harder to see the doctors we need, get the medication we need, get the procedures we need because of bad faith denials, we need to rein in those insurance companies. Because we are not asking for handouts. Nobody here is asking for handouts. We're asking for what we already paid for. Right? We're asking for what we already worked for. Because Texas is a world economic powerhouse. And it is the people of Texas who built that power. But the thing about power is that nobody's going to give it to us. Nope. We got to take it back. That's right. And that is why I am ready to take back that power for the people of Texas. Do you know we have 12 weeks till Election Day? Yes. 12 weeks till Election Day. This race is here. And we are in a moment in history. A moment that we did not choose to be in. But it has chosen us in a big way. It has chosen each and every one of us to meet this moment. Just like I never meant to run for anything, I am compelled to do my part to meet this moment. And every single one of us is compelled to do everything that we can in this moment in history. And I am asking you, Colleen, I am asking you, Bell County, I am asking you, Central Texas, to be all in. To be all in like you've never been all in before. Because if you are all in, then I will be the next governor of Texas. Thank you so much. And now it is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you somebody who you might have heard of before. He is my friend. He is my colleague in the Texas House and on the Public Education Committee. He has been a champion for our kids and public schools and a fighter for our community. Please help me welcome James Tallarico.
Thank you for being here. Give it up for our next governor, Gina Hinojosa. Thank you.
Thank you to the volunteers in the vests who made this event possible, and thank you to all of you for showing up on short notice. It feels so good to be back in Killeen, Texas. I wanna, before we get started, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the helicopter crash at Fort Hood this week, where we lost two of our brave service members, Chief Warrant Officer DeAndre Huey and Warrant Officer Seth Olmstead. Both of them grew up in this community, not too far from here. I know that their loss is felt deeply in this community. I am grateful for their service and their sacrifice. And I'm grateful to all of you for welcoming me here, even as you grieve. The best way to honor their service is to build a country worthy of their sacrifice. That is what we are doing tonight. We just kicked off our New American Dream Tour. We are traveling to 10 cities across Texas to talk about a new vision for our economy. One thing is clear over this state, in big cities and small towns, in red areas and blue areas alike, everyone is struggling. All Texans can't afford the basics, can't afford groceries or gas or utilities or healthcare. We can't make those ends meet. A few days before America's 250th birthday, I met a grandmother in Houston, Texas. Her name is Augusta. Augusta cares for her 5-year-old grandson who has autism. She works at the airport, clocking 10-hour shifts. She's cleaning the planes after all the passengers get off. It's back-breaking work, but Augusta shows up day in and day out. She is serving her community. In return for that service, to squeeze a little more profit out of Augusta, the airlines cut the AC in the planes. So now Augusta spends all day on the tarmac in a tin can in the Texas heat, spraying and scrubbing and picking up trash as fast as she can before the next plane lands. Her wages don't cover her basic living expenses, including rent for her small apartment, which is now $1,500 a month. Now she and her grandson are facing eviction. Augusta is working hard. She's taking responsibility. She is caring for those around her. What kind of country are we if we let a good woman like that go down? In the U.S. Senate, we are going to have Augusta's back. We are going to have the back of every Texan who is working hard and playing by the rules. We know it doesn't have to be this way because it wasn't always this way. The young people here might not remember this, but some of you who are a little older might. Not so long ago, you could afford to live a good life in America. You could buy a home in your 20s. You could go to college for cheap or free. You could support a whole family on one paycheck. You could afford to get married, to have kids, to retire comfortably. You could afford to fulfill your God-given potential. We called it the American Dream. In the middle of the 20th century, we invested in healthcare and education. We built homes and highways. We protected workers' rights and workers' paychecks. We blocked consolidation and we encouraged real competition. We built the largest, strongest middle class in the history of the world. But today, that middle class is disappearing. For too many of our neighbors, for too many Texans like Augusta, the American dream has become an American nightmare. It's too expensive to buy a home. It's too expensive to get married, to have kids. It's too expensive to retire comfortably. People are working hard, they're playing by the rules, but those rules of today weren't written for us. They were written for billionaires. We can't afford a home, but Jeff Bezos has at least a dozen. We can't afford to fill up our tanks, but Mark Zuckerberg is launching helicopters off his mega yacht. 1 in 5 Texas children live in poverty. but one of our own residents became the world's first trillionaire. Those three men, they now own more wealth than the entire middle class. The top 1% has put the American dream behind a paywall. For 50 years, billionaire megadonors and corporate special interests have been stealing from the American people, stealing the wealth that we create with their bribes, their bailouts, and their billionaire tax breaks. Trickle-down economics is not a theory, it is theft. They have been stealing from all that we have created in this country. For 5 decades, Republicans and too many Democrats have sold the false gospel of trickle-down economics. That the best way to grow the economy is to let the rich get richer and forget about the rest of us. This affordability crisis isn't something that happened in the last 5 years. This affordability crisis has been 50 years in the making. Since the late 70s, megadonors and their puppet politicians they've been funding this ideology on both sides of the aisle. They've been rigging this economy to benefit themselves at our expense. We have an affordability crisis because we have a corruption crisis. We're getting screwed. No matter if you're a little more conservative or a little more progressive, we're all getting screwed. None of us can afford our groceries. None of us can afford our gas. None of us can afford housing or childcare or prescription drugs. The billionaires buying the system, they don't care who you are. They don't care about your politics. They only care about their profits. They don't see us as Democrats or Republicans. They don't see red or blue. They only see green. They see us as one group of people they can rip off. They see us as one opposing team, so we might as well start acting like one. It is time. It is time for us to come together across these manufactured divisions to take on the people at the top who have been screwing us over for far too long now. Because the real fight in this country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. That is the real divide in this country. That's the movement that we are building in Texas. We are not practicing a politics of division. We're not practicing a politics of fear or anger. We are practicing a politics of unity, of friendship, a politics of love. That kind of politics can change this state. It can change this country. That new kind of politics can build a new American dream. We need a new American dream for today's economy. Because today we have an economy that rewards wealth instead of work. You can't tell me that the market is working like it's supposed to when billionaires are becoming trillionaires while all the people who do all the work in this economy can't afford the basics. The system only serves those who can afford to pay politicians for access and control. This is not capitalism. This is crony capitalism. As Dr. King said, we have socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the rest of us. It is time to raise the minimum wage and expand overtime pay so that workers can benefit from the wealth they create. It is time to repeal the big ugly bills tax cuts for the top 1% and give that $1 billion to the middle class. It is time to cut taxes for small local businesses, not giant multinational corporations. And it is time to rebuild labor unions in this country so employees can
negotiate with their bosses for better pay, better working conditions, and better benefits. Working Texans all over the state are drowning, and they are drowning in debt. Household debt reached an all-time high in the first quarter of this year. It is time to cancel medical debt and stop hospitals and insurance companies from overcharging patients. It is time to cap sky-high credit card interest rates and crack down on these predatory credit card companies that are ripping people off. It's time to invest in college and career education like we did with the GI Bill to educate an entirely new generation of Americans without saddling them with a lifetime of student debt. And it's not just personal debt. We have to get serious as a country about tackling the national debt, which is higher than at any other point in American history. It is a moral emergency. We are stealing from future generations. We're always told that the only way to lower the deficit is to do it on the backs of working people. And that's not true. We can close the deficit, and we can do it by closing billionaire tax loopholes. We can do it by cracking down on tax cheats. And we can do it by ending forever wars in the Middle East that are costing $1 billion a new American dream for today's families. I am running for LBJ's Senate seat. Like me, Lyndon Johnson was a Texas teacher before he ran for office. And in office, LBJ made the largest federal investment in America's children and America's families that this country has ever seen. Head Start, Title I, Medicare, Medicaid, public television, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act. When we win back LBJ's Senate seat, we can pass an LBJ-sized investment in America's public schools. We can give a long overdue pay raise to every Texas teacher who is working hard and saving our kids. We can pass universal child care and family leave so no one has to choose between raising a family and earning a living. We can expand the child tax credit and make it permanent because no child in the wealthiest country on earth should be living in poverty, period. Full stop. We can slash the red tape that is preventing this country from building millions of new homes, and we can provide down payment assistance to first-time home buyers so every American has a place they can call home. And we can fight tooth and nail against any and all attacks on Medicare, and we can force the wealthiest in this country to pay their fair share into Social Security so we can all retire with dignity. And lastly, we need a new American dream for today's technology. We cannot let artificial intelligence become yet another arena where billionaires write the rules for the rest of us. Working people deserve a say and a share in this AI future. We can start by cracking down on the data centers that are jacking up our utility bills and using up all our water. And we can prevent new ones from being built unless they meet the demands of the communities where they seek to build. We can establish an AI dividend so every American citizen owns a piece of these American AI companies. If they are going to use
our human ingenuity, if they're going to use the intellectual property of our species, then we want our royalty check. And we can double down on human creativity. We can invest in entrepreneurship grants for anyone with a great idea, for a business, for an invention, for a piece of art, but they don't know any big investors. Startup funding for the little guy. It'll pay off like it did when the government invested in companies like Tesla and in innovations like the internet. It will pay off in the long run when we bet on our people. This new American dream is scaring the people at the top. They're afraid of crowds like this in Killeen, Texas. They are afraid of Texans coming together across race and gender and age and party to dream a little bigger. They're going to call this new American dream radical. They're going to call it extreme. They're going to claim that we are socialists or communists or whatever sounds scariest in a headline. And we will say back to them, is that the best you can do? These are the same old scare tactics. This is the same old politics of the past. Those names that they'll call us only reveal how small their dreams really are. The people at the top want this to be a contest of names because they know they'll lose a contest of ideas. And they want to keep stealing from us. They want to keep stealing the wealth we created, sometimes literally. Did y'all see this story about Ken Paxton stealing a $1,000 pen? Let me explain for those who haven't seen this. This pen belonged to an attorney named Joe Joplin. It was a special gift from his wife. He'd forgotten it at the courthouse metal detectors. And when he went back for it, it was gone. When security showed him the surveillance footage, he recognized the thief. Attorney General Ken Paxton. Ken was rummaging through the trays at the metal detectors, and he took this guy's $1,000 Montblanc pen in broad daylight. It's all on camera. He didn't return it until the police got involved. Ken Paxton is the most corrupt politician in Texas. He will steal your tax dollars, he'll steal your health care, and now we know he'll steal your pen. Because Joe Joplin's a nice guy, he didn't press charges. But I am proud to announce that he just endorsed our campaign for New York. And now you can get your very own Not Ken Paxton's pen on our campaign's website. I can promise you this. I will be a senator who puts money in your pocket, and I'll never put your pen in mine. Listen, please, both the math and the past make it very clear. A country that takes care of its people grows faster than a country that abandons them. Yes. In 1914, someone asked Henry Ford, a titan of industry, why he doubled the daily wage for all of his workers. Legend says he gave them a simple answer: so they can afford to buy my cars. When you give the top 1% money, they save it. But when you give the rest of us money, we spend it. We stimulate the economy. We grow the economy. Despite what that false gospel of trickle-down economics tells us, pro-people policy is pro-growth policy. It is not an either-or choice. If you hate politics, I get it. If you don't have time or energy for politics, I get it. If you don't think the political process can do anything good for you or your family, I get that too. Let me explain why this moment, in this race, in this state, matters so much for you and your family. If you are struggling to afford groceries, if you're struggling to afford gas, if you're struggling to afford healthcare, the things that we need to survive, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you made bad decisions. It is because the system has been rigged against you by billionaire mega donors and crooked politicians like Ken Paxton. I don't take corporate PAC money, and I never will. I answer to the people of Texas. If I can earn your trust, if I can earn your support, if you send me to the U.S. Senate, I will be your senator. I'll be a senator for every Texan who can't afford one. I will fight to unrig this economic system. I will fight to raise our pay. I'll fight to lower our costs. And unlike Ken Paxton, I will fight to keep your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. Together we can build a new American dream. A new American dream means that if you're working hard and you're playing by the rules, you should be able to afford a house big enough to raise a family in, a quality education for you and your kids, a retirement that is secure and comfortable, and most importantly, time. Time doing the things you love with the people you love. A new American dream means that you can start getting ahead instead of falling behind. It means you can lay your head on your pillow at night knowing your bank account is going up and not down. And you can wake up in the morning with full faith that your kids and their kids will be able to live this new American dream too. Before I was a politician on stages like this, I was a middle school teacher in room 112 on the West Side of San Antonio. I always say that teaching middle school is the best preparation for politics. It's coming in handy in this race already. The west side of San Antonio is a beautiful, historic neighborhood. It's also one of the poorest zip codes in the entire state of Texas. Every day I saw my students and their families struggle to overcome a rigged system that is holding them back. My students weren't just kids, they were survivors, fighters, dreamers. My students, many of them immigrants or children of immigrants, understood something about America that our leaders have forgotten. That this is supposed to be the land of opportunity. This is supposed to be a place where dreams come true. We deserve the chance to chase our dreams, to pursue happiness. That's how it used to be in this country, and it can be that way again. We can reject the corruption that has defined both parties for decades. We can build an America of limitless opportunity for people like Augusta and her grandson, for students like mine on the west side of San Antonio, and for every Texan who has an American dream of their own. That's why I'm running. That's why I'm in this race. That is what this election is all about. In the U.S. Senate, we are going to have Augusta's back. In the U.S. Senate, we're going to have my students' backs. In the U.S. Senate, we are going to have the back of every Texan who is working hard and playing by the rules, and together we will build a new American dream. Thank you for being here today.